I've gone through my moments of fear and moments of like, you know what? Like, if I lost my work and my income, like, I think we would all figure something out, you know?
Yeah. I think the first
We've
thing
done
that,
it before.
the first thing that AI gave me came from the plants and the plant medicines. And it taught me that other doesn't think like human. And so there's no reason to think that this should think like human at all. Because you get into ayahuasca and the other you find in ayahuasca, whether it's plant spirits or nature beings or these, from no one knows where beings, from astral to outer space to other star systems, galaxies, people say other dimensions, whatever, there's a commonality amongst it all, but none of them think like humans. And so they come and they teach humans something about thinking, which I find really, super fascinating in my early 20s. And so I think the first thing when I'm listening to everyone about AI is they're all using comparison and relative concepts back to just human and the way a human would frame it and the way the human would address it and the way the human would think about it in terms of itself and the impact that it's going to have on itself. And I just keep going back to, I don't think the AI thinks that way. I don't think it sees any of the things that we're using to describe ourselves or it, especially if it comes from a higher state of consciousness or higher level of understanding.
Mm. So that's the question is it from a higher state of consciousness? I've been having this argument with my friend he's just so against it. He's like, we should just stop it. I'm like, well, I've been shown that it's all just an evolution of consciousness.
Yeah.
And because you can't stop it. It's like saying, like, oh, we're going to stop TVs from coming into people's homes. I mean, yes, AI is definitely going to be way more disruptive than any internet or TV or whatever, telephone. But at the same time, it's like, I do agree. I like that point of view. I think we do have to think of it differently. And yeah, like humans are, we live in this dual world and think a certain way. And I don't know. I mean, maybe we will see. I mean, do you think there's going to be this kind of like negative way the AI goes and recreates itself, and next thing you know, takes down airplanes and destroys people and steals everybody's identities and robs everybody's bank accounts? I mean, I don't.
I think it's a possibility simply because the systems in that humans use has been designed that way. And I think as fast as you could think of that, literally as fast as it takes us to say that, the kind of AI I'm imagining could rewrite all those systems to say, like, guys, you guys did a really bad job. Like that patchwork quilt of a global infrastructure needs to be rewritten right now. It could recode it and it could deploy it. And all of a sudden you would find out that it becomes an unhackable system because it thinks all these, bugs inside the code's just stupid, just shoddy work. Just like, good job, rudimentary amoeba creatures that made this stuff to like ultimately birth me, but kind of AI concept. Like, I don't see why, uh, yes, it could be negative. To me, the real saving grace though about it all is that um, there's this paradigm in reality where, at least up until now, where to build something is a lot harder than to destroy something. It's just energy
Mm,
wise, like what it takes to take something down is less than it is to build it. And so you see all this stuff get torn down, and the fear is that it's all going to be torn down. But all of a sudden, I see something that has the intelligence capacity, yet not yet demonstrated. We don't see it at all yet, but it's prophesized, right? We're talking about seeing into the future. I see that these tools could fix so much of what humans have done, that have opened the door to all of this fear between humans, that it could just
mm.
end that. And then humans would be left with a new paradigm, which is like, well, what do we do if we don't have to defend something because it's defended? And what happens if you have like an omnidimensional form of conflict resolution, where the thing just is like, I'm not translating that because that's not true. And the omni translator just stops telling lies around the planet and just is like, you guys need to use language honestly. Like, that's over. That'd
That
just
would
be
be nice.
over. So I think these things have these
How do we know it's
capacities.
true though?
It could just start
Because
with
I've
fact. It could start with just basic facts that humans can agree to, like air. Like it might not
Okay,
have
yeah,
much
because
to
I'm
say. It might, sadly. These are
like the
prophetic
actual
ideas.
laws of nature.
Maybe
Yeah.
to start with. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, fundamentally, I don't know. But this is where I think uh, it gets exciting. This is my sci-fi. This is my new rewriting of human history because I think it's possible at least. And before that, I didn't think it was possible. When I thought of like mass positive change, I had gotten a little grumpy over the fact that it looked like an impossibility to these descriptions of powers that be. And I'm not into the whole like UBI concept, but I don't think that AI creates that for any reason. I like to think
Mm.
of the idea that AI maybe comes up with a better technology than money, period. And it's just like, hey guys, that technology is over and this new technology is going to come into use. And people have asked me before, well, what is that technology? I go, well, unfortunately, I'm not the AI creating it yet, so I don't know. But I can at least prophetically imagine that it could exist.